All right, game changers. So here we are again talking about the community manager of Treyarch and how things have progressed since the very first time we even discovered who the community manager even was. And I'll be honest with you guys, I would have wanted a more civil discussion. I would have personally wanted things to progress in a more positive manner. But as you guys are seeing from the thumbnail itself, things went a little more differently than I would have hoped. And in that sequence, I'll tell you exactly what happened and why I got or received the almighty block. But before I get into that and show you exactly what happened, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter, because on Twitter, there's a lot of things that are constantly happening and you want to be a part of that so you don't miss a beat. And on top of it all, make sure you guys are subscribed if you guys are new here. Make sure you guys turn on the bell to be notified every single time I upload a video, because you don't want to miss any of them. Now with that being said, let's get into it. I do want to start off this commentary with saying first and foremost that I have absolutely no hate towards any of the developers or the community managers when it comes to Treyarch, Infinity Ward, all of these studios. I know there's a lot of work, there's a lot of things in the background that these people go through in their every day-to-day jobs. I don't know the full story of it, but what it seems like to the community itself and what is seen on the surface level is what I'm going off of. And obviously the whole discussion in the community that's going on right now that I personally think is a big deal and needs to be addressed is the way that communication is handled. One thing that we have as a break to the barrier between the gamer or consumer and the product is that line of communication. And as long as we have that line of communication even open in the first place is what is going to garner any type of feedback that is much needed in a lot of these games in order to improve it. Now, will the consumer always be right? Absolutely not. Does the developer have a certain vision that they would want for a game versus the way that the community wants the game to be made? Absolutely as well. But there should be some type of common ground between the two, and we could at least have that dialogue open. I think it definitely is a great thing. In fact, I would even go as far as to say it's a privilege to be able to have some sort of communication with the people who make the games. I've never seen this in the past. Back before we had Twitter, back before we had this type of access to the developers, we would just have the game made for us, and there was no way for us to even communicate with some of these people. It was what we got. If we got a game, that's just how it was made. There was no other improvements, there were no other updates, and that's just what it was. It was a complete game, and that was it. The game was made. There was nothing else unless we got DLC later on, but that again was really an expansion of the game and not the main game itself. So it's important to realize that now that we have this type of access, we need to be careful with the way that we use it. But at the same time, when we get people out here, and this is where the meat and potatoes of this commentary and this video is coming up to, is when you have people who are not communicating, even when you are cordial. And this is the big thing. The big thing that these developers and the community managers are arguing against us, the community, is the fact that they are saying we are not cordial, we have loaded questions, and we are not asking in a polite manner, even when we are. And this is the fault that I think, or the issue that I am having. I will tell you, and I made a video previously before discussing the fact that automatically these developers and community managers come off as defensive right away. Alright, so look, it all started in Modern Warfare, and I've discussed this before in a previous video, but in Modern Warfare, we know already that the developers and the community manager were not so great in communication, and things just did not get any better. They did not improve. A lot of us were very frustrated with them because they did not want to even answer the most simple questions, but at the same time, we were viewing everything on our timelines and even on Reddit posts as well, that they were only communicating, only responding to people who viewed the game Modern Warfare 2019 in a favorable manner, and only people who praised the game. That's it. Those are the only people that got some sort of response from these guys, and they did not want to answer legitimate questions, legitimate problems that we were having with the game, and we would ask in a very cordial way. But when we saw that we were not getting the response that we needed, this was the issue that tipped us off. This was the issue that got us heated because we saw what was happening. What was happening was the fact that they did not want to answer anything that was negative, anything that had remotely to do with any problems in the game. They just wanted to respond to praise and positivity towards the game. And even though normally I would agree with that, but in a game that is plagued with problems or was plagued with problems, you want to have feedback, positive criticism in order to improve it. Would you not want, as the creator or the developer of that game, for your game to be its utmost best? Do you not want your product to be the best possible product out there? The only way that you could do that is to get feedback from the people actually playing your game. Now, I'm actually going to refer you to my video, which I will link in the description below, where it led up to everything that has been going on and this whole story. So that way you guys are caught up and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I believe that after that whole conversation, I was still not blocked on Twitter. And then after a few days, I followed up with this tweet here, which says, any updates on the console crashes, fixes, / updates caused by Cold War? And then of course I tagged him. And up until this point, even when I was able to send out this tweet, I did not get a response from the community manager. So which leads me to believe that it was after this tweet that I got blocked, which does not make any sense to me. I don't understand it. Is it because he's annoyed by me asking this question? Now, if this is a question that maybe he can't answer, or it's already been answered, ask community manager what I personally would do. Either kindly answer it, or if I don't know, I would refer this question to the proper resources or resource, either to a dev, either to a previous tweet where this question was answered, or provide a link where I could find the answer to this question. That's how I would do it in a more civil manner, not block somebody because either you find them to be annoying or you just don't want to do your dang job. I really think that is horrible customer service, and it's not going to send a good message to the community, and also does not send a great example of a community manager which is supposed to manage, you guessed it, the community. Now personally, again, I do want to state that I would hate for anyone to lose their job, and I'm not even implying that this person lose their job. I just want them to look in the mirror and honestly ask themselves, am I doing the best possible job that I can as a community manager to cater to the community? You don't necessarily have to bend the knee and answer every single question. I understand that there are people out there who will harass you and ask loaded questions and will be super negative towards you, the developer team, and the game itself. I understand that. But when someone is asking you simple questions and you cannot answer them, you cannot politely give an answer that will satisfy them, this is what is going to happen. This is why the community is so angered by the development and the community managers that we've had in Modern Warfare, and now we are seeing in Treyarch. At least Tony Flame was able to refer me to you. And I thought because he's a developer, obviously he's gonna be a lot more busy. It's not his job to manage the community, that you would be the best possible reference point for the community when it comes to updates on the game. We can't always go to Tony Flame, can't always go to Vonderhaar for all of these questions. I understand that they have their own job descriptions and they're busy with their own work. Do they take the time out of their day to sometimes respond? Absolutely. And this is the thing. It wasn't until I asked on Twitter who the community manager was, everybody was referring to Tony Flame and David Vonderhaar. It was a good thing I asked who the community manager was, so that way we had that resource, or so I thought. I thought that we would have somebody to refer to that would take on the questions of the community, because that is what the community manager is supposed to do. I thought that's what the job description entailed, but apparently I was wrong. Apparently I'm wrong when it comes to this job description. I don't know. Maybe I need a lesson. Maybe I need an actual job description detailed out to me so I understand what the job entails fully. Maybe I'm just not informed. Maybe I'm not using my head. There's something that I'm missing here. Maybe the community is missing something here. Somebody needs to educate us what exactly the community manager's role is in this whole thing. From my understanding and from previous Call of Duty games, and really in any game out there, I thought that the community manager would be that person that we refer to. But it seems like from Modern Warfare to now in Treyarch, we are getting absolutely silenced. We're getting blocked for asking simple questions, and it just seems like the whole community is not being catered to and treated the way that we're supposed to be treated. That's what it seems like. Do you understand the PR that you guys are receiving right now? It is not positive. You want to gain the trust of your community? You have to start acting like you care about the community. If you don't care about the community is not going to care about you. If you do not want to respond to us, then guess what? If we continue to show that we don't care about the game, this is the way that things are going to go. Do I want things to go this way? Absolutely not. I want us to be on good terms. I want us to have a civil conversation. I want us to all get along. But you see, what is happening here is we are being ignored, and this, of course, builds up that frustration. This is the whole point that we're trying to get across to everyone. Everybody wants to have an open line of communication from the consumer to the developer, so that way the improvement happens in the game. This is a franchise that we love, and we as the community want to see it succeed more than anyone else. Who better than to get that feedback from than the people who play, purchase, support your franchise and your game. If you're not going to do that, this is what is going to be the result of it. All I'm asking for at the end of the day is that we have an open conversation and we don't blow each other off just because either we're annoyed by that person or you're assuming that that person has loaded question and wants to only speak negative about your game. That's not the way that I want things to be. But anyways, let me know everybody's thoughts on this. I'm very curious to hear your feedback. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell to be notified every single time I upload a video. With that being said, this is GCP signing off.